Hey guys, welcome back to Down the Stretch. We have a very nice 10 race program here for Saturday, April 19th, and the race will also be running on the 21st of April. That will be Monday. Okay, let's get right into the first race. 3-year-olds and up, optional claiming, 700 to 600,000, and 6-year-olds and up, numbers of 4. A field of 8, they go 5 furlongs round, and boil this race down to 3 horses. They are the 2, Sugar Daddy, the 6, Diamond Rock, and the 7, Alexa's Lodge. Okay, Sugar Daddy, Shane Ellis for Errol Sobriety. Last time out 5.5 furlongs, third by 5 lengths to Sensational Move and Milos. Either of these horses was in this race right now, they would probably ramp. So I think Sugar Daddy looks a firm choice in this event, depending on how Shane Ellis is going to ride him. I think he could just go to the lead and just make all the running. So he's my top choice. The 6, outsider, my outsider in the race, Diamond Rock. Joy Haynes claiming 4 kilos here for Courtney Williams. 5th by 13 lengths on last to Tigray Express at 7 furlongs. Before that was 8 by 12 at 6.5. I think this horse is going to prefer this quick sprint. And with the pace going to be in front of him, I think Diamond Rock should be coming home pretty fast in the stretch and could possibly make it into the trifecta. And the horse I think going to give the most trouble to Sugar Daddy is the 7, Alexa's Lodge. Paul Francis for Aline Markland. 3rd by 4 lengths on last to Regnant. That was back in January, so coming off of a little bit of a rest. Comes in fairly light, and I think should fight it out. The second race, native bred 4-year-olds and up maiden. Small field of 6, they go 7 furlongs. Also boiling this down to 3. They're the 1, Ruby's Light, the 3, Valley of Love, and the 6, Sweet Burn. Ruby's Light, Rottamar Weir claiming 4 kilos for Gary Griffiths. Rounding into some good form. 3rd by 5.5 lengths on last to Solace and Sprague at 6.5 furlongs. I don't think 7 furlongs is going to be much of a problem. And being this race looks like it's going to be void of speed, I think Ruby's Light has a good chance with the lightweight to get a good jump and get to the lead and probably prove a tough nut to crack. The 3, Valley of Love, Tijay Suko claiming 3 kilos for Philip Elliott. 4th and last by 13 lengths to Monster Vigorous at this distance. Has no problem at distance. Last time before that, and 7 furlongs, was 3rd to Papidon and Monster Vigorous. So is capable at the distance, coming in light now. They've taken off the blinkers and put the visors on. And I think Valley of Love, again, should have a shot of fighting this out. And the 6, Sweet Burn, Radish Roman for Oral Hayden. Disappointed on last when selling 85, finished 5th by 11 lengths to Solis and Sprague, 6.5 furlongs. Before that at 7 though was a good 3rd by 3.5 lengths to Mila K, coming from off the pace. And this time around, I think Sweetburn should have a good shot of running them down in the stretch. The 3rd race, 3-year-old maiden special weight, 8 starters, 5 furlongs straight. A little more of a competitive race, but I'm only boiling down to 3. They're the 3, Bowmore, the 4, Ralph's Treasure, and the 6, Incredible Joe. Okay, Bowmore, Wesley Callaloo Henry in the saddle for Philip Lee. Last time out, 5.5 furlongs, I was 3rd by 3/4 length in a race that I think Bowmore was very unlucky to not win. He was in a little bit of a tight space coming into the lane, had to be switched, and then when coming with his run again on the outside, the Mighty Gully just flew and caught them. He was only half a length off of Terry lead, another one. So now back here, even though 12 pounds up in the scales, still should have a shot here over the straight 5. I think he's going to enjoy the galloping course. Last time over, it was 3rd by 7.25 lengths to Unruly Mo and Nephew. So I think Bowmore definitely is in here with a shot, even though height in this handicaps. The 4, Ralph's Treasure, Radish Roman for Gary Sobriety. 2 starts to date. 3rd on debut at 5 furlongs round by 7.5 lengths to Rico, and Bowmore. Came back at 6.5 furlongs. Was 5th by 10 lengths to Nephew, H21, Incredible Joe. That race didn't really look like he was putting in much. This very big, powerful looking colt might enjoy the galloping course, and expecting a much improved run from this Ralph Treasure. And the horse I think they're going to all have to beat, Incredible Joe. Shane Ellis for Adrian Prince. On debut, was a tearaway leader, looked like he would have stolen it, but 2 very useful horses got him in the stretch, Nephew and H2O, but he was rallying, coming towards the finish. in a smart 120 for 6.5 furlong on debut. They have now taken off the blinkers, so maybe they don't want him to go that fast this time around, but working very well on the 5th of April, 5 furlong straight, 59.4 by 46.2 has trotted coming into this race. I think definitely the horse to have to beat. Superfecta purposes, you want to squeeze a long shot in it. I would use the 7, Princess Chris. Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here for Norman Smith. 5.5 furlongs and last was 4th by 5 and 3/4 lengths in that same race with Mighty Gully, Another Bullet, and Bowmore was running on at the finish. Gets Lasix for the first time. They've taken off the visors and now put on the tongue tie. As a long shot, I think I'd squeeze this horse from us in the exotic bets. The 4th race, 3-year-olds and up, optional claimer, 350,000, 250,000, and native bred. 6-year-olds and up, nouns of 3. 8 starters, 5 furlong straight is the distance. Boil this down to 4. There are the 2, Buzz Assault, the 3, Absolute Blue, the 4, Queen Zan, and the 5, Empress in the Breeze. Okay, Buzz Assault, TJ Suka claiming 3 kilos for Stephen Todd. Making his rounds, changing stables regularly, but running some very good races, holding his gallop a lot better. And once again, is going to put in another good run from on the headlines or right with the pace. This Buzz Assault definitely fit and should again have a say in the outcome. The 3, Absolute Blue, Eric Horton claiming 4 kilos here for Omar Williams. 6 by 10 lengths and last, 5 furlongs round. That race with Air of Fire and Buzz Assault was prominent all the way up until the top of the lane. Something may have gone amiss there with this Absolute Blue. Coming here now claiming 4 kilos, so coming in pretty light. And if he can run like how he ran back in September, I think this Absolute Blue is going to have a good shot in the stretch. The 4, the horse I like in the event, Queen Zan, Radish Roman for Ricardo Brown. Last time out, February, Ian Spence up over the straight 5 course, was 7 by 7 and 3/4 of a length. Prominent early, but then faded. Was injured last time. He was supposed to run on the 15th of March and had to be scratched. Freshened up for this. And over this galloping course, trotting at the exercise. So I think he's sound. I think she's very fit. This is the horse I like. I think Queen Zan is the horse they're going to have to catch. And the 5, the outsider I like in the race, Dancing in the Breeze. Richie Shakes, claiming 3 kilos here for Edward Stanbury. Coming in as the top weighted horse in the event, but claiming off some of those weights. The last time out through that race out, 9 by 21 lengths to King Air at 6.5 furlongs. Before that, at 5 furlongs straight, was 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths to Airfire and the King Air after breaking slowly. Expecting a nice little pace up front and can't sit with the pace, but I think this horse can stalk and run on. As a long shot, I think Dancing in the Breeze can make the exotics. The 5th race, native bred 3-year-old maidens, Division 1, 8 starters. They go 6 furlongs and boil this race down to 4. They are the 1, He's Sensational. The 2, Alchemy of Souls. The 5, Midnight Runner. And the 8, Brompton Boy. Okay. He's Sensational. Shane Ellis for Alfred Brown. Working fairly well at exercise coming to this. Was very well bred son of Sensational Sam out of Sheer Madness by Traditional. So bred for a little speed there. Looks forward enough to have a say in the outcome. The 2, Alchemy of Souls, Radish Roman for Jason DaCosta. 3 starts so far. Best run so far was on debut when finishing 2nd by 8 lengths to Another One. Came back to a lackluster performance at 6.5, finishing 6 by 20 lengths to Prince Roy. Last start out, the 5th of April, over the straight 5, 5th by 10 lengths to I'm Outstanding. But that race, when I rewatch that race, he wasn't putting in his all. The rider didn't really ask him for much until maybe the last quarter or the last furlong and a half. And he finished 5th by 10. So I'm going to give this Alchemy of Soul a shot at running a much better race, as he has worked very well coming into this race. The next horse is the horse I think they have to beat. The 5, Midnight Runner. Disappointed me on last when selling 7 to 5. But I didn't like the ride. Shane Ellis had him on a very tight hold from the word go. All the way up to the top of the lane before he passed horses under a tight hold. And they went 6 furlongs in 1:16. So they were crawling. So when Shane asked him to run, whoever was in front, they just quickened because they had it easy up front. That was cost a living. So I'm expecting a better run from this midnight runner now. TJ Suku claiming 3 kilos for Adrian Prince. I think this horse is much better than his last performance, so I'm giving him another shot. And the 8, Brampton Boy, Wesley Callaloo Henry for Anthony Nunes. 3 starts. Last time out was 4th by 8.5 lengths to Summer Palace and Prolific Prince. Before that was 3rd by 10 lengths to I Dream Again, who's a very useful horse. So showed some speed in both races, but Nunes has decided to take off the visors. So maybe he doesn't want him to go too fast too soon. So there's new tactics now. I think he might be rated just off the lead. So expecting this Brampton Boy to put in a good run. And the superfecta purposes, if you want to squeeze a horse in it, I would put maybe the 7, Prince Kazir, Demar Williams claiming 4 kilo for Adrian Prince. This is Adrian Prince's backup horse in the race in case of anything. Looks like a run-on horse to me, and I think it's much better than the form indicates. If you look back to the 11th of January, finishing 4th by 7.25 lengths to My Eclipse, My Identity, and Prince Roy, that was a very good run. A reproduction of a run like that in this race would see Prince Kazir putting in a very good run, so be careful of that one. The 6th race, native bred 3-year-old maiden, Division 2, 12 starters, 6 furlongs, and this is the danger race. Okay, and this, I think, to me, this is the danger race. Boiling it down to 4, they're going to be the 2, Money Mission, the 5, Bossman, the 8, Star Quest, and the 10, Prolific Prince. Okay, Money Mission, Radish Roman for Oral Hayden. Showed a good run on last. Finally, 5th by 8.5 lengths. In that race, I think Star Quest was the favorite, going 5 furlongs. This time around, he was hindered 3 times in that race. 3 times, going 5 rounds. He was hindered right at the half mile, so after a furlong, after the start was hindered, Radish Roman did very well to not lose his position. He was hindered again when turning in for home. He had to be switched and came out. So even though the money line says 25-1, I'm not going to rule this Money Mission out. Very well bred. Casual trick out of Daisy Duke by Blue Pepsi Lodge, so bred for a ton of speed. Busy at the exercise. I'm giving this a good long shot outside of the race. This is a Money Mission. The 5, Bossman, Ryan Lewis for Peter John Possard. Good showing on debut. Was slow out of the gates and ran on to finish 3rd by 6.75 lengths to Summer Palace and Prolific Prince at 5.5 furlongs. Gets an extra half a furlong. I think he's going to enjoy that. Working very well. Last work coming to this was the 13th of April. 5 furlongs running 1:01.4, so that's very good. And expecting another good run from this Boss Man. Next up is going to be Star Quest. Robert Halliday for Jason Da Costa. 75 favorite and last. Looked like the winner at the furlong pole, but the first foot got him in the last part of the event at 5 round, stretching out half a furlong longer now. If got it his own way on last, very slow pace, and was still caught. So unless showing some dramatic improvement, he's going to have to work real hard to win this, but have to give him a shot in being a beaten favorite and last and coming from the high power camp of Jason Da Costa. Also has worked well with Social Aviator, so maybe that second race was a fluke, but left to be seen. And the 10, Prolific Prince, Shane Ellis for Adrian Prince. Shane Ellis on a lot of live ride. Him and Radish Roman have some live rides on Saturday. Well, Prolific Prince, 2 starts, second on debut by 2.5 lengths to Summer Palace. Have Bossman behind in that one. Next start, stretched out to 7 furlongs and still ran well. 3rd by 8.75 lengths to Runaway Star, who won the Prince Consort State but was disqualified. So that's saying a lot for this Prolific Prince, who was hooked up with Runaway Star for the all the way to the final furlong and a half. Shane Ellis has the ride once again. They have now put on the blinkers. They've put back on the visors because he ran that second with the visors on. Still at exercise, looking good, and possibly I think is the horse they're going all have to beat is this Prolific Prince. But as I said, this race is a very dangerous looking race. Outsiders, I'd put into the exotics. I'd use the 6, Bob the Builder, Emilio McLean, claiming 4 kilos for Greg Fennell, making his debut, but putting in a good work on the 12th of April with highly thought of stablemate H2O. Before that, had a nice work 4 furlongs straight in 47.4 by 1024. Well, Almasty List, I think that's the name of that horse. But yeah, working fairly well. Looks like he has some speed. He's also well bred. Hedge fund out of Sound of Miracle by Miracle Man. Look out for a good showing from this Bob the Builder. And the very burly, they say 1991 morning line, Modern Monarch. Tanisha Wolf, visiting a rider from Canada. Patrick Lynch train. This horse, I think this horse is a good horse. I think Patrick Lynch is just trying to figure him out. He's a big muscular colt. Bred to have a distance of ground. His stallion shows speed, but on the dam side, I think might want a distance of ground. So interesting to see how this horse rounds out. Looks like a useful horse, just not showing anything yet, but I'm going to squeeze him in my exotics. The seventh race, the Cecelia Cup, 3-year-olds and up, open allowance. Competitive field of 7, they go 6.5 furlong. I've already done the review of this race already in my previous video. You can go back and check that out. So I'm just going to put the 3 horses that I boiled it down to. It's going to be the 2 Legacy Isle, the 3 Inspired Force, and the 6 Pack Plays. I'm giving the edge to Pack Plays to get the job done at the distance, 6.5 furlongs, where he's undefeated locally. The 8th race, the co-feature, the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association of Jamaica Trophy. Native bred 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and up. Imported 3-year-olds and up, numbers of 3. Field of 7, they go 7.5 furlongs. And boiling this race down to 3. They are the 3, Girvano, the 5, Nephew, and the 6, Fred the Master. Okay. Girvano, Radish Roman for Jason DaCosta. Impressive winner and last, when stepping 2 classes up to non-winners of 4 at 7 furlongs. Outsped in the early, but came home flying to beat a very good field, beating stablemate Fred the Master, who was trying to steal home. Had the class horse in the race, Captain Sparrow, 7.5 lengths behind. And to me, 7 furlongs was a bit short for Girvano, but he proved that he's a horse with a lot of potential and a lot of class. Gets an extra half a furlong to travel here, and basically at the same class right now. So definitely thinking Girvano is the horse they're going to definitely have to beat. Once again, nice gallop coming to this race, the 12th of April, with Fred the Master working 6 furlongs in 1:13 and 2. The 5, Nephew. Demar Williams claiming 4 kilo for Owen Sharp. Win and last at 6.5 furlongs in 1 minute 20, beating the highly thought of H2O and Incredible Joe. Just before that, the 23rd of February at 6.5 furlongs, was the winner by a head over Girvano, but was disqualified for causing repeated interference to Girvano in the stretch. Had H2O 4.25 lengths behind in that race. Takes 2 steps up basically coming here, but being that he ran such a good race with the Girvano, definitely going to give him a shot here, coming extremely light this time around. Stretched out to 7.5. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem for Nephew, and another good run expected from this Nephew. And the 6, Fred the Master, Robert Haldane for Jason DaCosta. 2 starts, was a winner on debut, winning by 4.5 lengths from Girvano. Came back the 23rd of March, stretched out to 7 furlongs, got hooked up in a speed duel with Mac and Rome, and quickened off the top of the lane, looking like the likely winner, but stablemate Girvano flew in the final quarter to beat him by 1.5 lengths. Up 2 pounds in the weight. They have now put on the blinkers on this Fred the Master. So I don't know if they're planning to try to just shoot it to the front end and try to just get away. Should the 7.5 be a problem for him? I don't think so. He ran pretty decent for 7 furlongs, so he should get 7.5. Recently worked with Girvano 6 furlongs in 1:13 and 2. Expecting him to be giving most of the problems in the stretch for Girvano. Possibly, if he gets loose on that lead, might be able to hold off Girvano, because he is much spacier than Girvano. But I think Jason DaCosta might have the exacta here, depending if Unruly Mo causes him a lot of problems on the headline. If I was going to put a horse in for if they have Superfect, I'm not sure, but a long shot I'd put in it, or probably even for the trifecta, if there's a trifecta, if there's a danger horse in the event to come into the trifecta. I would use the 4, Blue Sensation, O'Neill Mullins for Peter John Passad, turning a nice turn of foot on last, going 6.5 furlongs to beat Oil Machine. Stepping up in class now, but just one class up. And has a nice turn of foot late. I think will be outclassed by the principals, but I think with her late running foot, she might be able to squeeze into the exotics. The 9th, 3-year-olds and up, optional claiming 500,000 to 400,000, and 6-year-olds and up 903. A field of 10, they go 7.5 furlongs. Boil this race down to 4. They are the 3, Maya, the 5, Zion Princess, the 6, Expeditious, and the 8, Great Trick. Okay, Maya, Everett Clune is claiming 4 kilos for Philip Elliott. Late running mare, last time at 7 furlongs, 23rd of March, was 6 by 4 lengths to Solo Black and Shiboom, coming from off the pace, as is her customary style of running. Before that, at 7 furlongs, she was 4th by 6.5 lengths to Sensational Gold and Expeditious. She gets an extra half a furlong to travel, which I think she should like in this race, and coming in very, very light. If the pace crumbles up front, I think Maya will be finishing extremely fast in the stretch. The 5, Zion's Princess, Shaheem Gordon, claiming 4 kilos for Lennis Shim. Last time out at 7 furlongs, was on the pace for majority of the race before folding up in the last half a furlong to finish 5th by 2 lengths to Solar Black and Shiboom. Before that, at 7 furlongs in the class below, was a winner by a length and a quarter from Lionel Vicati and Last Dance. So I think she is on the improved. Her last run, that pace was extremely slow. Could have been the track condition, I'm not sure. But 7.5, I don't think going to be a problem. Her last time over 7.5 was an easy winner by 7.5 lengths. But I think she definitely has the pace of this class, and I think she's going to put in a very good run from on the headlines or right with the pace. The 6, Expeditious, TJ Suku, claiming 3 kilos for Dalton Serju. Disappointing in the last 2 starts at 6.5 furlongs. Was 5th by 10 lengths to King Air. Before that, at 6.5, was 4th by 13 lengths to Let Him Fly. Last good run, though, was back in February at 7 furlongs, when coming from off the pace to finish second by 2.5 lengths to Sensational Goal. 7.5, I think, is right up Expeditious Ali, claiming 3 kilos with the very useful looking TJ Suku. And if the pace comes back, this is also one of the horses that I think will be finishing strong in the lane. And the horse I like in the race is the 8, Great Trick, Radish Roman for Oral Hayden. And last time out, I'm going to throw that race out at 7 furlongs, was 8 by 21 lengths to Sensational Goal. I'm definitely throwing that race out. Something obviously I think was not. I think they're trying to figure this horse out. Before that, at 7 furlongs, was beaten 10 by 14 lengths. Those 2 races, a Great Trick was early in the pace and faded badly. Gets back his rider, which won with him on last, going 6.5 furlongs on the 28th of September, when coming from off the pace to win. Came back after that up in class, came from off the pace and was a good second to outer class Sir John. Since then, has been going early in the pace and has been fading. Now with Radish Roman back in the saddle, I think Radish Roman knows this horse. I think he's going to break, get a good hold of him, keep him off the pace, and then try to come with a late run. And for those reasons, I kind of like Great Trick to win this race. Outside a possibility that I would squeeze into the exotics is going to be the 10, Veliki Viki. Romain Gordon claiming 4 kilos for Joseph Thomas. Last time out at the class above this, throw that out, was 8 by 25 lengths to Tigray Express. But before that, on December, at 550, which is higher than this 500,000 claimer, was a winner by half a length from Traditional Lady and Curling Flight, coming from off the pace. I think this race might suit this Veliki Viki. 7.5 furlongs I don't think is a problem, and I'm going to definitely squeeze her in the exotics. The 10th and final, nature bred 5-year-olds and up, numbers of 3, and imported 5-year-olds and up, numbers of 2. A nice field of 12, they go 6.5 furlong, and this is also a very dangerous race. So make sure you guys tread carefully. Boil this race down to 4. They are the 1, always right, the 4, Miss Linton, the 7, Captain Philip, and the 11, Cosmic Force. Okay, always right. Ramon Napier claiming 2 kilos for Michael Marlowe. Turned up on last at 7 furlongs and came from way off the pace to finish third by a length and a half to Sweet Victory and Captain Philip. So with her well being exposed, if she gets the right pace in front of her from a clean break, I'm expecting Always Right to be coming home strong once again. The 4, Miss Linton, Mila McLean, claiming 4 kilos for Robert French. Morning line says 40 to 1. Do I think she deserves 40 to 1? No, but I'll take it. Tried to steal a match going 7 furlongs, but went too fast for her own good and faltered in the last furlong, beating 8 by 9 lengths in that same Sweet Victory and Captain Philip race. As you notice, she went 23.47.4, way too fast for this level. And she's not generally a front runner. I think she's a horse that can start the pace. And if she's more carefully rated this time around, close to the pace, coming in extremely light, it would not surprise me if Miss Linton upsets this race. To me, she's worth a wager, win and place, to be honest. And the next horse is going to be the 7, Captain Philip. Captain Philip, the horse I think they have to beat. Eric Horton claiming 4 kilos here for Barrington Dawes. Last time out in that same race with Sweet Victory at 7 furlongs was coming from way out of the clouds to be beaten only a neck after being very slowly into stride, and tailed off early from a clean break here, coming in much lighter this time around. Yeah, I think this Captain Philip is the horse they're going to all have to beat. And the 11, Cosmic Force, Radish Roman for Stephen Todd. Fit, very fit right now, running some good races. Last time out was 6 by 5 1/4 lengths in that same race. Made a move and came to the furlong pole, but then quit. As I said, that race was going way too fast for the early horses. Cosmic Force got a little too close for his own good in that event. If a more tame pace is set up this time around, at this level, at this distance, I think Cosmic Force definitely has a good chance of fighting it out. And my other dark horse in the race that I would throw into my exotics, and that's if he decides to jump, is the 12, Dream Warrior. Shane Richardson claiming 2 kilos for Rowan Matty Jr. This horse is just a roguish horse, but I'm going to give him a little bit of a chance here because at this level he definitely has a chance if he comes out of the gate well. He's a very well-bred horse, just gives a lot of trouble. Whipped around in his 3 previous starts before his last start, but he did give trouble, came out of the gates very slow, tailed off way behind the field, and yet still only beaten 2 3/4 lengths in 5th in that same race with Sweet Victory and Captain Philip. And if you watch back that replay, he was behind Captain Philip for the most of the race and still came on strong with East Stone wide the whole race. So if he decides to behave himself and come out of those gates, I think this Dream Warrior will be running another good race, but can only take that one on trust. Okay, guys, those are my tips. I hope we all have some luck. And so I'm going to try to get on this Monday race card and try to get it done as quick as possible. And as usual, stay safe.